Ooh, yeah. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're Aunt Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Grab a seat, prop your feet. Let's sip some tea, sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. Sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Come on in now. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah, yeah. Come on in and hit that like, don't forget now. Auntie Mickey's house. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Grown talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh, yeah. From the jokes to the prayers, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. Auntie Mickey's house, that's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Known in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat. Come on in and hit the light. Hit the light, hit the light. You're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in her house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat, come on in and hit that light. Hit that light. Oh, you're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Grab a seat, drop your feet, let's sip some tea. Sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah. Come on in and hit that light, don't forget. Auntie Mickey's. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Don't talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh yeah. From the jokes to the prayers, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. That's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie city. Grab a seat, come on in and hit that light. Hit the light, oh, yo, at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh.
Happy Saturday! Happy Saturday, happy weekend. I hope y'all don't have to work today. I'm hoping and praying you guys get a break and can just chill, do whatever you want to do some laundry, clean your house, hell, shit, get some shit done to the car, the grocery shop, something. But anything but have to check into a job would be nice today. I'm hoping that for you. But nowadays it's a blessing to have a job, so I can't say too much about that. So let me leave that alone. But nevertheless, good afternoon, y'all. So good to see y'all. Well, I don't see y'all. I see Serene. Hi, Serene. How are you, sugar? And I see my hubby. How are you, sweetheart? Hurry home. It's time to eat. I'm not sure what we're going to eat, but it's time to eat. Cassie Jones, hello, sweetheart. How are you? Good to see you. Y'all, welcome. And welcome all to the people that are up in the bushes. I hope they're not thorn bushes. Because that could be kind of rough on the feet and the clothes and, snag a few things, get a few gashes in the legs. I'm a 70s baby, so we played in the neighborhood, and a lot of empty vacant lots had them sticker bushes, and ain't nothing worse than falling in some sticker bushes, especially in the summertime. So be careful of those sticker bushes. Hello, Cece. Good to see you, love. So yeah, it's just about chilling on a Saturday. And I thought I'd come in and do some more commentary on Nolan. Because I promised that I will keep his name in my mouth until they tell us what happened to him. Whatever happened to him. Okay? Those attorneys are really feeling themselves going around here talking about suing content creators and stuff like that for defamation. Ain't nobody defamating nobody. Them boys came out acting real suspect. What we supposed to do? We see some suspecting behavior and we're going to comment on the suspecting behavior. So, but I'm not saying they did anything, but I really am questioning their behavior. That behavior is real strange. It was strange from the giddy up. From the moment I heard about this situation, it was strange because of their behavior. They talked about their behavior on the news more than they talked about Nolan missing, if you guys recall. The moment that brother was missing, them boys went into lockdown 030 dark time. Shut down all their social media. It was just weird. Very, very weird. It just stunk. I'll put it like that. It stunk to high heaven. Especially if you call yourself a friend. You're not a very good friend if that's how you react. And even if it was out of fear, that's what the popo is for. The popo will react to white folks. I mean, come on now. Let's be real. Police are called by white folks. Police are there before the phone rings again on their end. So they shouldn't have had any concern about being in danger for knowing anything because they live in an elite area and have all that elite money to protect their elite asses. So you can't tell me, they were afraid. No. They got the moolah to do whatever they got to do, even if it means to move, But nevertheless, anywho, Serene says, Miss Ashley orchestrating from the bar. Mm. And that's I remember in the very beginning of all this, she was with those boys tying up loose ends. I guess. Allegedly, I don't know what she was doing, but she was Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot. Okay. But anyway, I was thinking about this case, and I just I don't want to rehash the same information over and over and over. Here we go with another doggone. Boy, you are early troll, aren't you? New man's dad. You new? Are you new? Yeah, you are brand new. I'll let you stick around, okay? But don't be making no comments about dumb black people because I'll talk about your mammy, okay? I'm gonna tell you one time, don't disrespect my channel. You disrespect my channel, I'm gonna disrespect you. And then I'm gonna boot you out so you can't reply. I'll talk about your mama, your daddy, your greasy ass granny. I don't care. Today I'm feeling one, okay? So you can sit here and listen, or you can leave. It don't make me no difference. No, fuck around, find out, okay? Please. Please do. Anyhow, I was thinking about in the very beginning of all this, and how everything kind of transpired, and it was, especially once his body, once they discovered his body, and it all came to fruition that he was gone. That's when it really sunk in. Hi, Jane. How are you? You don't see the troll? It's over in the. I think it's on the other side. Yeah, he's on his cell phone. I guess he don't have a computer. I don't know. But he's on his cell phone. Yeah, vertical. He's on vertical. Over here talking about dumb black people. That's probably why you have a vertical phone, because that's all you can do is vertical. You can't even lay down to do whatever you want to do. So you got to stand up to do it. Anyway, with everything that's been talked about, and it's been very sad. I mean, this is a very tragic situation. It's gotten more and more outlandish every day. But we're getting to the point now where, hi, Marion. Hi, Marion Harrell. How are you, sweetie? From Dallas. Yes, I got people in Dallas. But it's getting to the point now where it's raising to a point where something has got to give. You feel me? Something has got to give. And I'm hoping that, I mean, if these boys would just say what's going on and stop going on these interviews, these stupid interviews that are really making a fool out of themselves. They're not proving anything. If anything, it's giving me vibes like they're enjoying the limelight. But then again, it don't look all that healthy. Hi, Urban. How are you, love? It's just not a healthy situation, especially if all you're doing is getting up here explaining yourself. And now it's moved completely, in their eyes at least, away from Nolan. The whole point of the matter is what happened to Nolan. I'm not concerned about what's going on with these boys at home, because they still alive and breathing, and they living the good life. Okay? They got a grandpa and grandma and mama and stepmama and stepdaddies and all this stuff, living in $1 million homes. They ain't hurting for shit. And Nolan's mother and father are grieving and can't even grieve properly. Hey, Shank Rock, how are you? They can't even grieve properly because these selfish brats feel that they are they're so entitled that their feelings come first. But see, the problem with that mentality is eventually reality comes in and checks your ass. Reality will step in, and if you ain't paying attention, it'll knock you right upside your head and say, "Excuse me, um, you got some splaining to do." Black Wolf, how are you? Black Wolf says they accused them. Do you know why they accused him? I'm not, first of all, let me clarify this. I'm not saying anybody is right or wrong for accusing. What I'm saying is that based on their behavior, they brought a lot of these accusations on themselves. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry. Black folk go through it all the time. Get over it, you know. But anyway, yes, you guys hit the like button. I'm going to have to start saying that more often. When you come on in, take your shoes off, relax, get you a snack or whatever, and hit the like button as you come in, and throw this bad boy into the algorithm, okay? But yeah, they were accused, Black Wolf, because of their behavior. That's the best conclusion I can come up with, because that's the first thing I thought about. I'm like, wow, they acting strange. They are acting extremely suspect. And you know, we as Black people, we know that word, suspect, because on our end of the deal, that's what they refer to us as, suspects. Even when we're victims, they call us suspects. They'll put us in jail first and then try to figure out if we're guilty, without really having to know the full story. So we are accustomed to that. Okay? And this is a piece of life that these boys have never experienced. And not to say that I wish it on them, but it's just their turn. It's just y'all's turn. 19 years old, ain't had to struggle, ain't had to worry about nothing. I mean, what do you have to worry about if you're gonna be able to wear a red polo shirt or a black one? Which one do I pick? Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. I didn't want to sneeze in the in the microphone. Maureen Ingleson, you put it very well. People aren't accusing them; they're questioning the validity of their accounts. Exactly. Black Wolf said, "Wouldn't you be offended if people accused you of doing something bad to your friend?" Absolutely, and it wouldn't be the first time for us. This happens all the time, friend or no friend. Hi, Lady Letitia. I'm going to drop the link in case you want to come up. Hold on just a second, sweetie. So yeah, in reference to what you just asked, Black Wolf, we are offended on a daily basis for stuff smaller than this and larger. Until you walk in our shoes, you won't understand. And these boys are getting a taste of what it is to walk in our shoes. They just have a different suit on. Okay? Hey, Zane, you said I'm here. Okay, hold on. Let me put this up, because you know I'm half blind. I got to put it up on the screen just to read it. I'm here for the latest story, Auntie. Missed a lot of developments regarding Nolan case. Well, I'm going to try to fill you in as best I can. Okay? What I wanted to talk about today, though, was who's going to break first. There's a lot of characters in this saga. I was talking to my husband earlier this morning, and I was saying, baby, you know, it's almost like we're watching a screenplay being written out in real time. And it wouldn't surprise me if at some point in time somebody sits down and writes out a big screenplay about this case. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, because it's got so many moving parts, so many characters, so many things to consider, and then throw the internet into this, and wow. We've got a couple of attorneys that are, representing these young men, and they're threatening to sue everybody, and the mamas and daddies and everybody in between, just for talking about them and saying you're defaming our clients. We're not defaming your clients. Now, I'll be real. Let me be real. There are some people out there, okay? You in the bushes, sweetheart? She says she's in the brushes. Okay, well, eat a couple bites for me too. What kind of steak you having? Ribeye? You eating ribeye? Add some Heinz 57 steak sauce to that. Yes, prime rib is good too. Yes, Cece. Oh God, I done forgot what I was saying. See, I told you I am geriatric. But nevertheless, I was thinking, this is just like a big movie. And there's so many moving parts. And, now we've got the internet involved and content creators and all that. And it's turned into quite the production. But at the end of the day, this is about Nolan. And what I did want to say, I have to admit that there are some people out there. There's a selected few content creators that they are just going with it, accusing, and I don't necessarily condone that or think it's a good idea to do. But nevertheless, hey, everybody to each their own. I'm not going to say they did it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that, because we don't know. We don't know. We really don't know what happened to him. And, for those of you who've been following this from the beginning, I think the biggest mistake was when the sheriff came out without even starting an investigation and said that there was no reason to believe that there was foul play. And that's where the mistake started. That's where it got convoluted. See what I'm saying? Richard Muirhead said, and see what? I don't understand your question, Richard. Can you elaborate, please? When you brought up the wrestling dude. You talking about that demonstration that I played, Serene? I might play that again if I can find that video. Because there was some talk about where did that red mark come from, and they were saying that the skin wasn't broken. So I kind of looked into it and I was like, wow, yeah, that could have very well happened. Yes. And I just, yes, Serene. I found that out too, after the fact. And that blew me away. Because I didn't have anyone in mind at the time. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it's just really, it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. And we have so much going on right here in America that we could just, on any given moment, turn our televisions on or turn on our phones, laptops, iPads, and just press a button and see some of the worst things going on in the world. It's like, pick a chaos, pick a chaos. But this particular story is very much like a lot of other stories before it. And I think we as a people are done with this. We're tired of our Black people being unalived, if that's in fact the case, which it appears to have possibly been. possibly been. And when one of us isn't alive, they always brush it under the doggone carpet down south and up here. I mean, all through the nation. But we're tired. We're tired of the repetitive brush them off like they don't matter. We do matter. We do matter. This country wouldn't be what it is today without black people. Point blank, period. Maureen said, let's see. I'm sorry, I skipped down. Did the sheriff assume there could be no foul play because they were white? I wouldn't say that it was no foul play because they were white. He said foul play because it's very customary that if they declare no foul play, they don't have to really investigate it. Or if they say drowning, then they don't have to conduct an investigation. They can just write it off as a drowning. And he said there's no reason to believe that there was foul play without investigating. See, it's usually with black people that they do this to, and then wonder why it becomes a racial issue. Oh, well, you guys are making this about race. No, you're making it about race. Do your job. Do your job. Don't quit looking at it. Quit looking at victims as a black or a white person, and look at them as a human being and investigate. That's your job. And it shouldn't depend on what color they are as to whether or not you feel like going through the motions or whatever you do. That's the thing that's why it becomes racial. And there's a very, very sinister history to Mississippi. Very sinister in comparison to all the other states in this country. Mississippi. I said Mississippi. Mississippi has the worst track record. Worst track record, bar none, in this country. You see what I'm saying? So, without further ado, I wanted to go over a couple things, and I just wanted to pick y'all's brain. I'm not going to be long today because it's Saturday, and I don't want to hold y'all up, and I'm not going to hold myself up either. But it just occurred to me, I was wondering, who is going to crack first? Who's going to crack first? Now, Cece, I'm going to need you to do your brilliant work in the chat. If people start getting a little out of hand, do what you got to do, sweetheart, because I can't watch the chat and do this at the same time. Okay, so, but what I was going over specific people that are involved in this case, and the one person that stuck out to me the most, believe it or not, is the one that's doing the least talking, and that's Katie. Where is Katie? We don't hear. Has anybody heard from Katie? I'm just wondering, has anybody put a 1 in the chat if you heard? Have you even heard her voice? Here's Katie. Ain't she beautiful? Beautiful young lady. Many of the police are hot after Kate. I don't know. It's a small town. Who knows? I hear tells Katie got around. I'm not saying in a bad way or I'm not saying in a good way, but it's a small town, and I'm going to leave it at that. But yes, Cece, I'm curious why we're not hearing from Katie. And she is allegedly the last person that saw Nolan alive, as far as we can tell. And that might be possible too, Serene. She probably is a witness, but still, let's put some things to rest in terms of if you want to turn down the temperature, you have to be transparent to the public. But Commander 8 said that's the question everyone should be asking. Absolutely, Buck. Where is Katie? And why isn't Katie talking? I'm not asking her to go blabbing anything. I don't compromise the case if there's anything to compromise. I'm not asking for that, but we need some transparency here. And she's very, very crucial in this case. Jane said, has the autopsy been released yet? That's a good point. I haven't heard anything about Katie. No, the autopsy has not been released yet. Well, at least the first one hasn't. The second one, they did theirs as best they could. Unfortunately, there were pieces of the body not accompanying the whole body when it was shipped to DC to do the independent autopsy. They kept the throat structure and they kept the lungs and the stomach, which are things or pieces or, parts of the anatomy that could definitely put a gold stamp on what unalived him. Okay, let me see what Think says. FENC, fence. Okay. Those white teens don't have any criminal charges against them. What part don't you understand? What do you mean, what part don't I understand? I know they don't have charges. I'm saying their behavior was very, very peculiar, very suspect. And we have the right to talk. So I'm not concerned about the white teens and the criminal charges. Black folks has been talked about, arrested without charges, held for 72 hours without doing a doggone thing. So I'm not trying to hear what these white boys is going through. They ain't going through nothing no different than the black community goes through every day. So anyway, my first part, the first aspect of this is the Katie factor. And nobody's hearing from Katie. I mean, we've been hearing from Katie through her sister. Okay? I know what they do. I know what they do. They have lawyers. And I'm not saying those boys did anything. But I can examine the case, brother. I'm not concerned about them having lawyers. I know what the law is with defamation, and I have not defamed them young men. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with nobody about what my rights are as a citizen and or a content creator because they got lawyers. Hello, Barbara. I think it's ironic that they want to sue the entire internet. Make that make sense. Because somebody's talking about them? Now, yes, there are some out there that are getting out of hand and being accusatory. Yes, ma'am. Ooh-wee. But anyway, as I was saying, this is why I don't like to look at the chat. Anyway, nobody's hearing from Katie right now. Yes, we've been hearing from her sister though, and that's fine. But let's be real. Katie was there. She was there at the island in a huge way. She was there at the island in a very huge way. And Katie has yet to be heard publicly. Okay. Okay, Fence wants to tell me about the laws of America. The law in America state you have the right to be silent and the right to have lawyers. Those teens are smart and following the law, and so am I. Okay? So am I. And many content creators that are out there are doing the same. Now, those that are out there that are accusing these boys of doing something specifically, like unaliving Nolan, yes, that's out of line. Most definitely. But we have the right to look at this case. That's our right. And I do encourage everybody in the chat, just be advised, just to be, to cover yourself. Don't make accusations like that. Okay? Don't make accusations that you can't prove. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So, I'm getting the impression, though, that I'm not the only one on this app expressing this sentiment. Because we've heard from Katie's sister speaking on her behalf, but there's going to come a time soon where she's going to have to, put on her big girl panties and speak for herself. It's cool to have a sister to speak for you. But sometimes you got to speak for yourself, too. Not trying to be mean, but her name, has been all through this story. And I'm not making any assumptions that she's done this, that, and the third, but from, what they say, there's a very small town and she's been connected to a few people, allegedly. I don't know that to be true, but I'm just saying, part of this picture. And that's why I keep saying that it's almost like a movie that we're watching playing out in front of us with different characters, different circumstances. And it wouldn't surprise me if someone made this into a blockbuster movie. Excuse me. So why can't she speak on her own behalf, I'm wondering? What is she afraid of? Why does her sister have to be her mouthpiece? These are things that I ponder. Okay? I'm just pondering. Or is she afraid that she may say too much? That's another thing to consider. According to the young men, according to the young men that Nolan came with, Katie was the last person they saw Nolan with. And Katie is supposed to be the reason Nolan stayed behind. As a matter of fact, let those boys tell it. He hung with her pretty much most of the day that they were there on the island. Okay? No, I don't have a reason to think Katie did anything to Nolan. But why is she not speaking up for herself? Who can better speak for you than you? What did she see that day? These are the things that I'm thinking in my head. What did she see? Is she afraid? Did she see something that scared her? These are things that I'm wondering, because it's almost like a movie. Hold on. Hold on just a second. I gotta pick this up. Sorry about that. So, what does she know that her sister hasn't told us? Katie is a witness by default. Either way you look at it, she's a witness by default. And with that said, will she be the first to crack? Absolutely not, Vince. That's not why I'm here. And thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Even Nancy Grace asked the question, should I be interviewing Katie? You know, now, Tatum, you know what I want to call him, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice. Tatum's claimed that he's seen text messages from Katie. I don't know how true or how false that is, but Brandon Tatum has claimed to have seen text messages from Katie to some of those young men from that night. And it's rumored that she had in the past been involved with a couple of them. I think Dresden, and also rumored to be the girl Bart had a thing for. But again, we don't know these things for sure. We don't know. They're just rumors at this point. And now Nolan spends the whole day with her on the island, okay? Warren even described her as being cradled by Nolan, okay? At one point. And then Dresden said, I think it was Dresden, that said he was leaving the island. He said some slick something or other to Nolan about her with a smile. I think it was Dresden. It's either Dresden or Javon. I'm trying to keep them all, you know. Sometimes I get them mixed up. But not saying she's guilty of anything. That is not what I'm saying. Okay. But why have we not heard from her? Not her sister, but her. Okay? Why? Katie's been cruising under the radar, y'all. Katie has been cruising under the radar. She is definitely, like, seriously down low. Not in the down low that we normally refer to as down low in a different way, but she is definitely cruising under the radar, undetected. Okay. Katie needs to show those texts for one thing, if they even exist. Because if they do, it would exonerate those young men. And if they don't exist, then that makes Tatum look like another liar. Because he's been seriously walking around here with his chest out, saying that he's seen these texts, I should say. So, do the text messages exist where she says she witnessed Nolan refuse to get on the boat at 4:30? If there's text messages that say that, where she said that she witnessed him refuse to get on the boat, then that would exonerate the young men right off the bat. Exactly, Maureen. But why would Nolan stay without his phone? But see, this is the thing. We hear things, but we are not seeing proof of that. You see what I'm saying? We hear things. That doesn't make it true. But if it is true that, what's his name? Tatum has seen these text messages and can literally say, yes, I have seen these text messages that she and the young men have had back and forth, stating that Nolan refused to get on the boat, then we wouldn't even be talking about it right now. not their involvement at least. Let's see, 82. I'm sorry, sweetheart. 82 Princess. I hope I didn't mess up your name, baby. Who was the ones actually fighting, and what were they fighting about? And that's another story that gets convoluted. That's another story that gets convoluted. There was a fight with Warren's brother, his little brother. There was a fight with Tresden, I believe. I got it. Oh, good. Thank you. And I think there, I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But did I'm sorry, Javon get in a fight? It's hard to come. Look, they could all been. It could have been one big fight for all I know. I mean, it was said that Nolan got into a fight with somebody, but we haven't seen specific, literal blow for blow, you know, uh, evidence of that. So there's just a lot of, you know, there's a lot of words and nothing to back them up. You know, all people are left up with, or left up to do, is speculate, and speculation is not the best thing. Let's see. Ling Chinwen says, apologies for the crude language. My mother said a stiff dick has no conscience. Who knows why he left the. You know what? My grandfather used to say that too, and it's true. A stiff dick don't have no conscience. However, we also have to consider what Nolan's parents said too, and how they know their son. I mean, I've raised two boys too, and I'll be honest with you, I couldn't see neither one of my boys staying behind on that island. You know what I'm saying? Chad said, who is this in the picture? You talking about the young lady on the screen? That is Katie. Yeah, why did the one boy say he was fighting and he said something to the girl that was slick? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I think that was Tresden. I know Tresden had to get on the boat with his uncle quickly because he had been in a fight. And again, I don't know what that was behind. But there's just so many moving parts. But my live today, I want to focus on who do we think could possibly break first? Who's going to crack first? Because that's almost where we are now. Someone's got to say something to bring all this out. I mean, it's yes, Serene, he's too quiet. There's a lot going on that it just looks really odd. I'll put it like that. So, Katie's the first one I thought about. Okay. I thought about Katie, even though she hasn't been thrown out there in the forefront. I think that's a lot of burden to carry on your back, knowing that you're involved with such a situation. You know what I'm saying? So, Katie was one of my first thoughts. And then I thought about Javon, the Javon factor. Okay. Javon has spoken in the comment section. As a matter of fact, he went into the comment section on one of Brandon Tatum's interviews with the young men. And I tried to find that comment, but I did see it online. It was on YouTube. Somebody else had posted it. And it said, and I quote, I was never on that boat, dude. Like, y'all stop, bro. It's sick. I'm NGL, which means not gonna lie. My phone was only placed on that boat. I literally rode with parents and friends, unquote. Okay. Now, during this interview, Brandon Tatum asks Morgan Seymour, Jax Patalo, and Warren Hudson, the three guys that were on the platform, to explain to him the issue with Nolan's phone because of the suspiciousness of it being left on the boat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that video up and you guys can take a look at it and see what he was talking about. Let me take Katie down. Okay, Katie, you got to go bye-bye. And I will share. I'm going to go ahead and share this portion of the video with you guys, okay? And you guys, just please, if you come in and you have comments, please be respectful. Try to be respectful as best you can, because if you're not respectful in my chat, I'm going to have to boot you out. Me and my mods will have to boot you out, okay? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, okay? So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start. It's not at the very beginning. That this is just covering a certain portion of what we're talking about.
So I want to figure this out. Explain to me, because a lot of people are still online saying that they find it to be incredibly suspicious that Nolan left his phone. Can you explain, did Nolan ask you for his phone back when you guys were leaving? Was it not a part of the conversation? Was Nolan the only person that left his phone on the boat? Can you guys walk me through that idea?
So I can go ahead first and say nobody has their phone in the water. Even when you jump in a pool, do you have your phone? No, you don't. You're not going to bring your electronic in the water. So what everybody does is they stick their phones on the dash of the boat and they forget about it because you don't have good service. You can't even send a picture through from Horn Island to somebody else. And so they put it on the phone.
Sorry about that. I got to interrupt this real quick. He just said that there was very bad reception on Horn Island, which is actually not quite the truth. As a matter of fact, if you were here to see the video yesterday of the press conference with the parents of Nolan, the mother said that she conducted an entire conversation throughout the entire island talking to her grandmother. So, just keep in mind that, the boys said that there's no reception, but then they are on the phone talking. So it's just something curious. Serene said, Auntie, I saw a short on how that school they attend has had bullying incidents and nothing was done. One girl committed unaliving herself and previous students have declared the same experiences. Oh my goodness, really? I didn't hear about that, sweetie. I haven't heard that. Wow. Well, if it is untrue, then I'm sure that we'll learn that quickly, that it's untrue. Okay, let me start this back up.
And even as teenagers, we don't really get on them. We go out there and we conversate and we see a bunch of people that we usually don't see on a day-to-day basis, that we graduated high school with, guys that graduated before us. It's a big meeting, like seeing all your friends that you haven't seen in a while. And so whenever we were coming back in, he didn't even think about grabbing his phone. He never asked about his phone, along with 5 other people that also left their phones on the boat. And we had to wait at the boat launch for them to come and pick them up, including Javon. Javon left his phone on our boat.
Yeah, Javon is one of the guys in the friend group.
Okay, I did hear about that. I did hear about Aubrey Yes, Aubrey Wyatt. Yes, I did hear about that. How long ago did that happen? How long ago did that happen? It's been about a year or two? But yeah, that was very devastating. She was being bullied for a few years, wasn't it? Miss G? Miss G says, nah, y'all need to stop trying to cover up for these thugs. Nobody's covering up for them. There's no cover here. I point out what I see. I believe that their behavior has been very, very suspect. But what I'm not going to do is come right out and say that they did something if I don't have proof that they did it. But it don't look good. Let's just put it like that. It don't look good. Let's see, Kelvin says, I believe law enforcement already have one of their friends telling everything. They just don't know somebody already cracked. Oh, okay. And where did you see that at, Kelvin? I'm sorry, Kelvin. Did you see that online or in the paper, or? Because I'd like to check that out. That's interesting. Oh yeah, we're gonna go over that, Miss It's Miri. We're gonna talk about that too. Let's see. User HR4. Sorry, your demand for racism is higher than the supply. And who are you talking to? And what does this statement mean? Because if you're trying to convince me that racism is not an issue in this case or in this country, you're sadly mistaken. Very sadly mistaken. Jared King says Javon came in on separate boat and his phone ended up on Warren's. He returned on separate boat and picked his phone up on mainland on Warren's boat. Well, that's what we trying to figure out right here. Let me put this video back on. Hold on just a second.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Javon's a friend of mine, friend of ours, like not as tight as Nolan. Javon's in the class under me in school, and he's a friend of mine. But just like a lot of our other friends, Javon's our friend. He left the phone on the boat because we're trustworthy people. We're not going to steal something. We're not going to delete pictures off of someone's phone. We're not going to delete text messages. We're not going to get on anyone's phone because we have no reason to. But Javon left his phone. And we gave Javon his phone back along with everybody else who left their phone on the boat. So
yeah, we'll get to that because I think I have the timeline in my mind. So you guys, the boat is taking.
Okay, you know what? I done been nice. I done already done my housekeeping, and I done told you people, don't come in my house being disrespectful. Now, Greg Fletcher wants to pop off with some bullshit about, oh Lord, Javon was nearly murdered too. What idiots. This lady is ignorant. He's talking to your racist ass. Let me tell you something, you punk ass motherfucking bitch. I told you, don't come in my house being disrespectful. And don't talk about somebody being racist, because chances are you got your racist thumb right up your own ass. So with that said, you take your stank ass up out of here right now. Goodbye. I'm not putting up with that bullshit. Okay, hold on just a sec. I've done blocked the wrong person. My bad. I'm gonna turn this back on.
Taking in water. You guys, you had already left, Morgan, right? You had already left on a boat. So there's 3 boats. You had already left about 5 minutes before this situation happened. The last two boats was Bart's boat and Wyatt's boat, and those are the two boats that left out because Bart was kind of towing Wyatt's boat out. So you guys are on the boat. What was the conversation with Nolan? Because Nolan obviously had come in on Wyatt's boat. You guys are all getting ready to leave. So what was the communication like with Nolan?
So actually, Wyatt was saying, told Nolan, because Nolan's with this girl at this point. They're together. Wyatt looked at Nolan. He was like, dude, come on. Boat's taking on water. We got to go, like right now. And Nolan didn't want to go. He said he wanted to stay with the girl. And Wyatt started yelling at him. He's like, Nolan, get on the boat now. And Nolan's like, no. And then finally, Wyatt's like, Nolan, get on the effing boat right now. We are leaving right now. And Nolan said he had another ride back, and we had no more time to waste. We got to get the boat out of there before it goes under.
And it was that. And when Nolan said that, like, was there an issue that you believe that Nolan would be able to get back, or were you concerned?
So what I can say is, I've been out countless times on one boat to Horn Island and came back on another. I've done it before where I went out on one boat and my friends left, and I just know so many people out there. I didn't even think about, do I have a ride already set up? I just know so many people out there that I'm like, okay, there's 100% sure I can find a ride back, and which I have before, you know? And it's one of those things where it's at Horn Island, you don't even have to know somebody to ask for a ride back in. They're gonna bring you in. You know, it's not like, oh, are they gonna bring me in or are they not, should I ask? No, if you ask anybody out there, 100%, they'll bring you back.
Southern
in.
hospitality.
Yeah,
The South Mississippi.
I mean, we had somebody.
The boating community is so like tight knit. Like it doesn't matter like who you are. If someone sees you struggling on the island, no matter the case, they will come and help you. They will do anything in their power to help you and bring you back to the mainland.
I'll put another example out there. We know another kid who was pretty intoxicated out there, and he couldn't find his boat. And he asked somebody random that he didn't even know if he could catch a ride back with them. And they were like, yeah, got him on the boat, called his parents, told them the situation was going on, and then took him back on inshore.
And that happened this time, or is
4th of July?
This
4th of July.
current 4th.
So you guys you leave. Nolan is there. I'm based on what you're telling me, I'm perceiving that you guys are accepting that Nolan's going to get a ride back somewhere else. Y'all taking on water. Explain to the audience, what does this sinking boat thing like? Because I think that people are in good faith, the ones who are acting in good faith are genuinely curious of like, are you sinking? Do you think you're gonna sink? Because you hear Wyatt on the phone and he's like, we're sinking, we're going down. And obviously you never went down. So can you explain what he was saying about going down? Was there a little bit of water? Was he just panicking more than normal, or like what was that? And I want you to explain too, like what happened to the boat? How did you recover the boat? And how did you get back to the mainland?
So I'm gonna go ahead and first off explain a boat. So a bilge pump is in the bilge. The bilge is underneath the deck where you stand in the very bottom of the boat. And there's a space in there where you have all your electronics, your batteries, everything that controls everything throughout the whole boat. So the first thing that fills up on a boat.
Okay, is it just me, or does this really make no difference about the sinking of the boat? After all that we've heard. Yes, thank you, Satin. Anybody cussing in the chat, you will be blocked permanently. If you're gonna curse, at least misspell the words. But I'm not playing. Don't be in here calling people out of their names and being disrespectful. Not gonna have it. This ain't your house. This is my house. Well, Platt, you don't have to listen to him. You're free to leave. All I'm saying is listen, I don't know what's going on with them either. It looks pretty bad as far as I'm concerned, but I don't know if they've done what you're accusing them of. We don't know that to be true. We can suspect, but we don't know for sure. And unfortunately, this whole situation is so messed up that they live in a town that is customarily the kind of town that's going to cover up for them. And I don't like that. White supremacy where, Platt? Because there's no white supremacy. Ain't no white supremacy up in here. It's the people in the town, Platt. White supremacy got to go. White supremacy definitely got to go. Because people are tired of this. They're sick and tired of this. Every time somebody turns around, something happens to a black person and they want to sweep it up under the rug like it ain't worth their time to investigate. If it wasn't for black folks, this country wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't be what it is today. Black people built this country. I agree, Platt. I totally agree with you, bud. A 1A Freedom from Fear says not one of them has been charged yet, and that's a problem. Absolutely. If nothing else, listen. If nothing else, Warren. If nothing else, Warren, for the fact that he had Nolan's phone. You know what I'm saying? And sat there on that phone and talked to his mother. And it wasn't until she pretty much told him, I'm trying to find my son using Life 360. Carrie, you get the fuck out of my chat. You're a racist pig. Now we gonna get the bigots out of my chat, CC and Satin, before I go the fuck off. See, this is the problem. These motherfuckers they're so doggone comfortable running their mouths behind that computer screen. But I guarantee you one thing. You would never say half of that shit in front of nobody in their face. I guarantee you that. So you go ahead and flex your racist muscle right there on YouTube. Just get the hell up out of my chat while you do it. Because I'm not going for it. Thank you, Mogul, for the 10 jewels. And Dennis, you can go too. I told y'all, don't disrespect people in here. Get up out of here. A lot of folk coming in here don't know what the fuck you talking about. But you want to point the finger at people and call them stupid and all this other stuff. You sound just like this fool up on the platform here. And I don't understand why they're not in jail either. At least Warren. He had her phone, or had Nolan's phone. That would have been grounds for arrest right there. Minimum 72 hours for an interrogation. And your mammy's an incredibly dumb woman for having you two. Okay? Get up out of here. Racist. We kicking all racists out of here. Hurry up and get through with this video before I go off.
But when it starts to sink is the bilge. and it goes in the bilge,
They
and
done.
it starts
They done
filling.
talking about him. He ain't got nothing more to say. Enough of that shit. So apparently Javon got upset because somebody had put his name or brought up his name on that platform there. And he made a comment in the comments line pretty much saying that he was never on the boat. Now he did say that he put his phone on the boat. So I'm not quite understanding why he got upset. But somebody about to crack. Out of this group of people, someone is about to crack. Hold on just a second. Okay. But you know, the one thing I noticed about this whole situation that causes me to kind of look at them side-eyed to a certain degree is that they continue to do these what ifs. And that's kind of I don't know, it's weird. You know, the what ifs. Why would I do this if you did that? Or why would I scenarios? I call them the why would I scenarios, where they carry on with these diatribes of why would I do this, fill in the blank, and not fill in the blank. This makes no sense. So I think my biggest thing with them would be to maybe stay off of the internet during this time, because they're not helping themselves. You know what I'm saying? So moving on from Javon, because I don't know if he's gonna crack. I really don't. I think he's pretty much kind of fed up with what's going on. But pressure's a booger. And we're starting to see it in Warren. We're really starting to see it in Warren. Let me pull him up. Hold on just a second. Now the picture on my left, the one in the kind of a reddish t-shirt, that's the most recent picture with the white baseball cap and the white jeans. The other one is like from the first interview. Okay? And there is definitely a difference in his appearance that's concerning. It looks like he's really lost a lot of weight. It really looks like he's lost a lot of weight. And I don't know. You guys can determine. You can come to your own conclusions. But, you know, here's something to consider. The fact that Warren has pretty much taken the mantle as the group spokesperson for the guys and can't, you know, he can't hold water. He keeps stumbling and making little small mistakes, you know, telling on himself or telling on them. And it's like, this would be enough to make anyone crack. Not to mention the added stress of his mama, you know, kind of calling the shots. Hold on a second. Okay. You guys, I'm gonna have to get me some additional mods because these folks is out of hand. Let's see. Hold on just a second. So basically, as I was saying, he's got to be under a lot of pressure. I'm not trying to be funny, but he's got to be under a lot of pressure, more so than the other boys, because he's kind of taking it upon himself to kind of represent them all. You know what I'm saying? And to have his mom, I guess it's his stepmom, the judge, who's kind of behind the scenes, kind of, calling some of the shots. Who knows? I'm just saying, because why in the hell does he looks like he's about to audition for what's that cartoon, Skeletor, He-Man? He looks bad. He looks really bad. He's clearly wasting away. It's like he's wasting away, and I don't know if it's some kind of guilt or stress. I don't know. It's not for me to say. But we're watching in real time this guy kind of dwindling, He's carrying a lot more weight than the rest of the group, though, in terms of stress with his involvement of the phone. He's the one that had the phone. He's the one that had the phone. He's the one that called Christine. He's the one that said, "Oh, I'm going to call the Coast Guard." A lot of stuff he kind of put on himself, Nobody else in the group has done that. So it seems like he's got more to be looked at for, if that makes any sense. Warren called Christine. Warren didn't mention the phone until she advised him she was calling Nolan's phone on Life 360. And then it showed on the phone that the phone was on land. Not to mention, excuse me, the mob that came over there and showed up at Jack's house looking for Nolan, and it was a mess. They're not used to that. They're not used to that. Now, for those that you want to believe, if they're innocent, you have the right to believe that. Absolutely. You have every right to believe that. They have not been charged. Everything is still under investigation. But what many of us do have a right to believe is that the system is working against justice for Nolan. And that's what this is all about. Justice for Nolan. Absolutely, Catherine, I agree. I'm hearing a lot of, we've got evidence here and evidence there, and they haven't produced anything in terms of evidence. They brought forward a video on a boat that is suspected of being tampered with. So they're saying that they've got all this evidence proving that they're innocent, but we haven't seen it. And they just say, "Oh, because see, that's it right there," pointing at that video. Looking at that video does not make it evidence. You can't even give us a timestamp for it. And then to walk around like being real cocky, like they know something. We've got people out there that are pretty much given the impression that they've been given some leaked information. This is the system that we're dealing with. This is the system that we're dealing with. And Chris Hillman, I don't blame Christine for not turning that phone over right now, because they were supposed to do it together. And the DA dragged and was not returning phone calls or anything. That's how it works for y'all. Presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's how it works for a lot of people, but not everybody. That's the problem. That's the problem. They're just doing. I think they should stay off of these interviews because it's not helping them. Don Wynn, maybe they didn't do it, okay? But now you look stupid in here telling people they look stupid. You look stupid in here pointing your finger at other people saying that they look stupid. You weren't there either. And like I said, we don't know what was done. But this thing has gotten so out of hand. Everybody's so worried about who did what, and nobody gives a damn about Nolan. Folk act like Nolan is not the focal point. This is about justice for him. But we got people out here trying to cover up shit and justify shit and just come right off the top without any evidence. Oh, they didn't do it. Well, how do you know they didn't do it? We don't know if they did or did not. Yeah, they're getting so is Christine and her family. See, it's funny how one-sided this thing is when it comes down to who's getting threats and who's not. That family has been tortured since all this popped off. And it takes a pretty sick mind to torture a person and accuse them of grifting and all this who just lost their child. Wow, y'all is a trip. Some of y'all in here is a trip. God help you. God help you. You know, we have a constitution and half of you don't even think it applies to us. That's sad. Throw your rock and hide your hand and then claim to be a victim. Okay, your mama's a bitch, okay? That part. Your mammy's a bitch. You want to call somebody names? I'll call you one right back. Your stank ass mammy is a bitch. So last but not least, we've gone through, we've gone through Katie, we've gone through Javon, we've gone through Warren. By the way, Warren's the one that has the stepmother who is a judge. They're very highly connected. Actually, all those families are highly connected to power down there. You know. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's see. The next person, wonder where Wyatt and Bart are. Has anyone heard from Wyatt or Bart? Catherine, you said some of these people must have me blocked because I can't see their comments, Auntie Mickey. You know what? I think I accidentally blocked Serene, and I'm gonna have to wait until after my live to get it back, to get her back. So, but I see your comments. Here's a good question. Maureen says, how would the public perceive it if the victim were white and it was 3 black guys doing the interviews? How would you guys perceive that switch around? You know what, Smoke Some? You just showing your stupid ass. Ain't no monkeys in here but you. Get out of here. Welcome to America, y'all. Land of the free and home of the assholes. So, next thing I wanted to point out is Wyatt and Bart. Has anybody seen Wyatt and Bart? Anybody? Has anybody heard from Wyatt or Bart? Ain't no telling what these guys are mentally going through either behind the scenes with Wyatt's boats and Grandpa's name in the mix and unanswered questions that go along with the CETO call and the 30-minute discrepancy and sinking yet leaving at 4:30, taking this boat out into deeper water, meaning a much more dangerous situation. It just looks strange. It looks really strange. And don't forget that CETO was called at 4 o'clock with Wyatt asking for help for his sinking boat. In all the confusion on the call placed at 4 p.m., the dispatcher asked for coordinates, and the coordinates given by Wyatt literally placed that boat aground. And we know this because the dispatch lady clarified it with Wyatt by saying in a questioning way, "You're on Horn Island?" At which he replied yes, and also asked if they were aground, and he comes back saying, "We're in 31 feet of water." But the coordinates stated otherwise. So that just looks suspicious. So with those clear discrepancies coming out of his mouth for all to hear, not to mention Grandpa's involvement, and how did he know? Wyatt must have called him, right? How did he know that the boat was in trouble? At the very time that Wyatt was on the phone talking to CETO, Grandpa is simultaneously on another line with the CETO captain. So it's safe to assume that Grandpa was on the phone with CETO and told them to cancel the assistance. Said they don't need it. But the boat was supposed to be sinking. Yeah. That looks kind of suspicious, don't it? And then, of course, you know that audio where, damn it, Bart. I mean, there's just so many components to this thing. There's so many components to this thing. You can draw your own conclusions if you want. But we got dirt on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Melissa said, "Why did that young man's father immediately put up a reward for Nolan and Nolan's parents? Wait. And Nolan's parents don't his friends. That doesn't make sense. And forever is saying those horrible things need to be kicked out of the..." That doesn't even make sense, Melissa. I'm not trying to... I don't know what that means. Might want to type it over again. Or go somewhere else with it. I don't know. But yeah, Bart was mentioned, and shoot, he hurried up and got him some attorneys. And I guess from what I hear, he gave about 20 names. Absolutely, Marcia. They're going to do what they want to do, sweetheart. Unfortunately, we haven't evolved far enough to be treated fairly. Let the record show. And what they need to do is they need to take this case out of Mississippi completely and let the federal government handle it. Point blank, period. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. They were supposed to come to an agreement as to a date and time to turn it over, and they kept standing her up. I'm not going to hand my phone over to these people knowing that they're not working on my behalf. So they were supposed to do it with the attorney present, as both sides handle that phone together. Together. That might be because she might be in vertical, Catherine. That might be why. But there's something going on in this, yeah. Yeah, she's vertical, so you're not going to see her on your side. So, I'm sorry about that. But you know, this is frustrating. It really is. This is very frustrating because we've got people that are lying. That woman does not want to turn her phone over to just the police. Would you? No, that's not true, Jack of Daniels. Or Diamonds, I'm sorry. That is not true at all. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but that's a bald-faced lie right there. Inconclusive is the word. But, yeah. You know what? I think I've said enough, because if I say any more, I'm going to say something, and I'm just going to keep this tight and right. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a blessed evening.
Hey there, my kinfolk. Thanks for stopping by. Auntie Mickey's house, where we reach for the sky. Every comment and smile, you make my heart glow. Together we're strong, together we grow. From gossip to politics, we cover it all. Sharing laughs and thoughts, having a ball. Your support means everything that I know. Feels like family here in this sweet show. So let's keep it flowing, keep the love alive. Every moment together makes me thrive. You're more than viewers, you're my kinfolk. You see, my gratitude runs deep as the sea. Thank you for being here, for sharing your time with each comment, with each rhyme. You're my kinfolk, my family, my crew. So much love to all of you. Turn up the camera, let's make it bright. Your support lifts me up, takes flight.